Namaste. Good morning. Hare Purushanu Manantra. God wants me to reduce my sleep for today. And reducing sleep is needed for yoga. Shri Agni Namaha. Namaste. Shri Krishna Namaha. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Namaste. I think I slept like 1 hour last night. Namaste. Ana Pekoak Gedulat Yemineka Tatil Jerura. Debat. Tekukun Hanefesh Gatel. Kokma. Bina. casa de... Che volò. Te parat. Ne tak. Hold it. Yes, hold it. Mic should.
까벨 리나트 아메카 사그베누 다하레누 노라 나 기볼 도르쉐이 이후데카 게바밭 쇼무렘 바르캠 다하렘 라카메이 지드카테카 다밋 고물렘.
Forgot to switch. In case you're actually following along, you could pause up there because I'm gonna go back.
Sin Katosh Berov Duveka Nahel Adateka Yakid Ge Le Ameka Bene Zokrei Gedushateka Shabatenu Gabel Wushma Jaakatenu Yodea Da'alumut.
Namaste. Might not have slept well, but I guess I got protection. Okay. Oh yeah. Namaste. Namaste. lack of sleep is starting to show in my writing. I have less strength. So that's what happens. It's all right. I'm gonna get a regular notebook next time. This is college ruled, and it makes the letters too small for me. I know Hindi letters are small. They use the same letters. Sanskrit and Hindi uses the same letters, but Hindi is like 3 times smaller than Sanskrit. It's true. They write it 3 times smaller than Sanskrit. 10 times smaller. Okay. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Okay. 넘어졌대. I'm gonna go back to the what the hell? Oh, that's Zoom. Okay, cool. So now I do this. Mic check. Okay. All right. I'm gonna take a 2-minute break and then start reading. Okay, so today is Garuda Purana, chapter 4. And I haven't slept well. I wonder how the reading's gonna be. I mean, if it comes out crappy, then so be it. I mean, okay. All right. Let's get this spiritual surgery done. Okay. Mic check. Mic check. Okay. There we go. Namaste. $64.
아타 짜툴토티아야흐 가루더 우방짱 깔가츠 차는띠 마하말게 바이따라누염 빠따는띠 까이흐 빠빨나라게 야는띠 따는메 까타야 깨샤바 श्री भगवान उवाच सदैवा कर्मनिरताः शुभकर्मपराङ्मुखाः शुभकर्मपराङ्मुखाः नरकान् नरकं यान्ति दुःखाद् दुःखं भयाद् भयम् धर्मराजपुरे यान्ति त्रिभिर्द्वारैस्तु धार्मिकाः पापासुतु 다구슈이너 드바라 말게 너이바 다구슈이너 드바라 말게 너이바 브라자는 띠따뜨 나서미는 나바 마하두헉케 말게 바이따라 누이 나디 따떠라 예 바비노 야는 띠 따나함 까타야미 떼 브라흐마크나 시짱 수라빠 시짱 코크나 바라카 따까흐 스트리 카띠 갈파빠띠 짱 예짱 브라츠차나 나빠 비나흐 예 하라는 띠 구롤드라 비암 데바드라 비암 드비자시아 바 스트리드라비아 하리노 예짱 발라드라비아 하라 시짱 예 모놈 나 브라야츠 차는띠 예 바이 야사 바하라카흐 비시바 사카타카 예짱 사비셔는 내나 마라카흐 도셔그라히 구너실라키 구너바트수 사마트사라흐 니짜누라기노 무더흐 사트삼가띠빠랑은 무카흐 딜타사지자나 사트깔마구루 대바비 니는 디까 따까흐 딜타사제자나 사트깔마구루 대바비 닌 따까흐 딜타사제자나 사트깔마구루 대바비 니는 디까 딜타사제자나 사트깔마구루 대바비 니는 따까흐 one more 딜타사제자나 사트깔마구루 대바비 니는 따까흐 딜타사제자나 사트깔마구루 데바 비니는 다까흐 보라너 데바 미맘 사니야 야베다는 따두셨다 두 보라너 베다 미맘 사니야 보라너 베다 미맘 사니야 야베다는 따두셨까흐 할 수 있던 두헉키땀 들으셨더발 할 수 있대 두헉하다 약간흐 두셨더바 기아시양 바크따로 두셨더 찌뜨따 시장 예 사당 나 Shurun Bananti Hitam Bankiam Shasatrabai Shasatrabai Ti Shasatrabai Tam Kadapi Na Atma Sampapitan He Sidabutan He Mutu He Padwitamani He Ete Janie Jan Bahabahe Ba Bishete Taima Bajitan Gachichanen Yamamalge Hi Rodamana Diba Nisham Yamadu Daisidan Duyamana Yananti Baitaranuim Prati Tasyam Patananti Ye Ba Sedanaham Katayami Te Mataram Yevamanianante Pitaram Guru Meba Cha Acharya Chapi Pujian Cha Tasyam Vajijananti Te Narah Pratibratam Satushilam Kulinam Vinayanam Vitam Sutriyam Diajananti Ye Dubesho Dubaitaranuyam Patananti Te Satam Gunosahasatreshu Doshana Ropayananti Doshana Ropayananti Ye Deshiva Bajinyam Ja Ulbananti Baitaranuyam Patananti Te Brahmanoya Pratishurutya Yathal Tam Na Tadati Yah Ahuya Nasati Yo Puruya Tatayulba Shecha Puruya Tatayulba Shach Puruya Tatayulba Sachicha Samtatam Savayam Tatata Pahaltan Ja Tanam Tatava Nuta Pakahu Pariburatiti Harashichan Tane Tatate Nibarakahu Nyajinya Bitbam Sakashichan Gata Panganga Karashichan Gata Panganga Karashichan Yahu Kushwatarasi Ma Harashichan Yashichan Kocharakashakahu Brahmanu Rasavikratan Yadi Siad Burushali Patihu Pedokata Yajinya Danyatra Sivat Maltam Pashumarakahu Brahmakaima Pari Prashuto Brahmakaima Pari Prashuto Mam Sapokatan Ja Padiapa Madiapahu Uchichirangan Ka Uchichirangan Kala Sivapavo Yahu Shasatra Tiayana Bajitahu misprint. This is like fate. I'm doing so well, and then the printing. Look at this. Do you see that there? That missing second character? Like, this is my fate. Like, no matter what I do, there's evil everywhere. Sometimes it's humans, sometimes it's not humans. Man. Get 22. Ta be bedan kush. Got it. Bedan kusharam patwete true drahe kapilam yahe bayahe bibat. Tara yadu brahmasu dramcha Pavedu Van Brahmanui Patihu Raja Paria Pilashui Ja Paradara Baharakahu Ganyayam 까무까시짱이바 사띠남 두셔까시짱 야흐 에테 짱니에 짱 바하보 니슈이드 타 짜라노트 수까흐 니슈이드 타 짜라노트 수까흐 비히타티아기노 무투어 바이타라노염 빠따는 띠떼 살밤 말가 마티크라미아 야는 띠 빠빠 야말라예 Punaria jinyaya katia tu ta stasiam kushui pananti tan yang bai bai turatara salvatore yanom kagatipa atastasiam prakushui pananti paitaranuyam cha papinah 그르쇼노 가오리디 노 따뜻한 놀트바데하 끄리양 그르땅 다시암 보그트바 마하드 두하캄 야는띠 브로크샴 따토드 파밤 꾸떠사 구슈여 브라다 꾸떠 사구 슈여빠라다 따라흐 꾸떠 탈마빠라야너흐 찰레날자나 삼사크따 시짜이 찰레날자나 삼사크따 시짜오리아 부르트띠아 자 지비나흐 최다야는 띠아띠 부르쿠숑 시짜 바나라마비 판잣가흐 No, I lost my place. Okay, chapter 4. Got it. Sorry about this. Okay. I'm almost there. Where was I? 찰레날 자나 삼사크따 시짱우리야 부르트띠아 짱 지비나흐 최다야는 띠아띠 부르쿠숑 시짱 최다야는 띠아띠 부르쿠숑 시짱 바나라마비 판자까흐 프라탐 딜탐 파리티아지야 비타바실라나 샤까흐 팔다람 두셔야는 날이 바람 마나시 타라야트 이디아디아흐 샤를 말리 브로쿠슈에 분자테 바후따 더나무 따더나더 파티따는 두따흐 구슈이 빠는띠 나라케슈 따는 빠따는띠 대슈 예 빠스따나함 까타야미테 나스티까 피는나 마리아다흐 까다리안 비셔야드 마까흐 담은 피까 시짱 그릇다크나 시짱 때 마이 나라가가미나흐 고바남 자 따드가남 마비남 데바사드마남 브라자그르하놈 파드따라스테 마이 나라가가미나흐 비스르지아 신하는 띠예 다란 치슈는 프르티암 스타탕알 다란 치슈는 프르티암 스타탕알 구루는 우트스르지암 베트르데베지암 때 바이 나라카가미나흐 샴쿠피흐 세투피흐 가시터이흐 바슈너이흐 가는더가이스타탕알 예 마이가 무파루는 타는 띠때 바이 나라카가미나흐 시밤 하림 수리암 가누에샴 사두구름 부타무 나 부자야는 띠예 맞는다 스때 바이 나라카가미나흐 아로피아 다심 샤야네 비프로 까치체다 토가띠무 브라자 무트파디아 슈드라얌 브라흐마누여 데바 히야테 나 나마스카라 요기요 히사 가다피 드비자 타마흐 땀 부자야는 띠예 무트스테 바이 나라카가미나흐 브라흐마노 난자 갈라함 고유드탐 갈라하뿌리야흐 나 발자는 띠야 누모다는 때 때 바이 나라카가미나흐 아나니아 샤라노스트리 너무르투카 라비아티크라마무 예 브락불바는 띠 비드베쇼 때 바이 나라카가미나흐 예삐 같이 차는 띠 까마는 달 나라 나림 라자스발라무 바이바스바프수 디바인 시라드테 때 바이 나라카가미나흐 예 샤리람 말람 바는 헬 브라쿠쇼이 바는 띠 잘레피짜 아람의 바티 고실투에 바이 때 바이 나라카가미나흐 샤스드라놈 예자 깔따라흐 샤라놈 타누슈엄 따탕알 비크레따라시자 예테슈엄 때 바이 나라카가미나흐 자이마비크라이노 바이시아흐 시라비크라이카흐 스트리아흐 비셔비크라이노흐 살베때 바이 나라카가미나흐 아나탐 나누까문 빠는띠 예 사탐 드베셔카라카흐 비나파라탐 다눈두여는띠 때 바이 나라카가미나흐 아샤야 사마누 브라브타는 브라흐마노 날티노 브라브타는 브라흐마노 날티노 그로해 브라브타는 브라흐마노 날티노 그로해 나 보자야는 띠 바깨피 때 바이 나라카가미나흐 살바푸 때 시바비시바 스타탕알 때슈 비닐다야흐 살바푸 때슈 지흐마이 예때 바이 나라카가미나흐 니야마는 사무파다야 예 바시자다지 때는 드리야흐 비글라 바야는 띠 나는 푸야스 때 바이 나라카가미나흐 아티아트마 비디아다다람 나이바 마니아는 띠 예 구루무 따통에 Purana Bhakataram Te Vai Narakagaminaha Mitraduro Hakara Ye Cha Puri Tichu Chedakara Shichang Ye Asha Ch Chedakara Ye Cha Te Vai Narakagaminaha Vivaham Devayatram Cha Dilche Saltanam Bilumapati Sa 바세는 나라께 고래 다스마는 나 발따땀 다스마는 나 발따남 뿌나흐 아그님 다디아는 마하바비 그러해 그라메 따통아 바네 사 니또 야마두 다이슈장 바흐니 꾸는 두에 슈 빠짜떼 아그니나에 Nagtaga Durosao Yadai Chayam Prayachate Niyate Jatadai Tu Tairasi Patrabana Nantake Tare Tu Tairasi Patrabana Nantare Kadugati Kushwo Shunoishuchan Kadugati Kushonoishuchan 카드가티 그쇼노이슈장 따뜻 빠뜨라일가 뜨라 쯔체도 따뜻 빠뜨라일가 뜨라 쯔 따뜻 빠뜨라일가 뜨라 쯔체도 야동에 파베트 따도 주허 시따라 쯔차에 수칸 있는 드람 구루슈바 포 빠니암 빠두 미츠 차는 바이 뚜루풀도 야디 야짜떼 바나일탐 달라마티우슈놈 따동에 두다이허 브라디야떼 비야담 부지야담 마나마나나무 주스따다피 마나마나나무 주스따다떼티 마나마나나무 주스따데티 마나마나무 주스따데티 때 비타마트레노 테나이바 나그타는 드라 니빠타는 띠때 까탄제트 뿌나 루트타야 브랄라 빠는 띠 사디나바트 비바샹 우츠츠바 사는 따시짱 때 바쿠투마피 나샤카는 이티에밤 바후샤스탄 구슈여 야타나흐 바비남 스무르타흐 기메타일 비스타라트 프로크타이흐 살바샤스트레슈 바슈이타이흐 바슈이타이흐 에밤 바이 글리시아마나스테 나라흐 나리아흐 사스트라샤흐 받지 않은 때 나라께 고래 야바다 부다 사문 뿌라밤 다스야 구쇼얌 팔람 그르트바에 따뜨라이 보트 바디아테 뿌나흐 야야지냐야 마힘 브라피아 파바는티 스타바라다야흐 부르크쇼 구를 말라타 바를리 기라샤이 부르크쇼 구를 말라타 부르크쇼 구를 말라타 바를리 기라야시짱 뚜르노니짱 스타바라에 이티 비키아땅에 마하모하사마 버르타흐 기뚜시짱 바샤바시짱이바 바쿠쇼이너시짱 잘레짜라흐 자투라시 딜라쿠슈에슈 까티땅에 데바요나야흐 에땅흐 살바흐 파리프라미아 따또 야는띠 마누쇼야땀 마누쇼야피 시바빵아케슈 장야는때 나라까 가땅아흐 가뜨라피 빵아빠찌는 하이스 때 파바는 띠 바후두허키 땅아흐 바후두허키 땅아흐 갈라트 꼬시터 시장 자는마는 탕아 마하로가 사마꿀라흐 파바는 띠에 밤 나라 나리아흐 빵아빠찌 후노팔라쿠슈이 땅아흐 마빠찌 후노팔라쿠슈이 땅아흐 Iti Shri Garuda Puranoe Sarode Tare Naraka Prada Pachihuna Nirupa Naraka Prada Pachihuna Nirupanam Nama Chatul Totyayahu. Okay. We went through. Made many stumbling breaks, whatever. Not too bad for 1 hour sleep, right? Okay, so chapter 4, the translation. Here we go. Chapter 4. On account of the kinds of sins which lead to hell. Garuda said, for what sins do they go on that great way? Why do they fall into the Vaitaranui? Why do they go to hell? Tell me this, O Keshava. The Blessed Lord said, those who always delight in wrong deeds, who turn away from good deeds, go from hell to hell, from misery to misery, from fear to fear. The righteous go into the city of the King of Justice by 3 gateways, but the sinful go into it only by the road of the southern gate. The Vaitaranui river is only on this very miserable way. I will tell you who the sinners are who go by it. Slayers of Brahmins, drinkers of intoxicants, slayers of cows, infanticides, murderers of women, destroyers of the embryo, and those who commit secret sins, those who steal the wealth of the teacher, the property of the temple or of the twice-born, those who take away the possessions of women, and those who steal the possessions of children, those who do not repay their debts, those who misappropriate deposits, those who betray confidence, and those who kill with poisonous foods, those who seize upon the fault and depreciate the merit, who are jealous of those who have merit, who are attached to the wicked, who are foolish, who turn away from the company of the good, those who despise places of pilgrimage, good men, good actions, teachers, and shining ones, those who disparage the Puranas, the Vedas, the Mimamsa, the Nyaya, and the Vedanta. Those who are elated at seeing the miserable, who try to make the happy wretched, who speak evil words and are always evil-minded. Those who do not listen to good counsel, nor even to the word of the Shastras, who are self-satisfied, who are unbending, who are foolish, who think themselves learned. These and many others, very simple, devoid of righteousness, certainly go on the way of Yama, weeping day and night. Beaten by the messengers of Yama, they go towards the Vaitaranui. I will tell you what sinners fall into it. Those who dishonor their mothers, fathers, teachers, and preceptors, and the reverend, these men sink in it. Those who wickedly abandon their wives, faithful, of good qualities, of noble birth, and modest, fall into the Vaitaranui. Those who ascribe evil to the good, possessed of thousands of merits, and treat them disrespectfully, fall into the Vaitaranui. Who does not fulfill promises made to Brahmins, and who, having called them, says there's nothing for you. Of these two, the stay is continued. Who takes away what he gave, who repents of his gifts, who takes away another's livelihood, who hinders others making gifts, who obstructs sacrifices, who prevents the telling of stories, who removes field boundaries, who plows up pastures, the Brahmin who sells liquors and consorts with the low-caste woman, who kills animals for his own gratification, not for the prescribed sacrifices of the Vedas, who has put aside his Brahmanic duties, who eats flesh and drinks liquor, who is of unbridled nature, who does not study the Shastras, the Shudra, who studies the letter of the Vedas, who drinks the milk of the tawny cow, who wears the sacred thread or consorts with Brahmin women, who covets the king's wife, who abducts others' wives, who is lustful towards virgins, and who slanders virtuous women. These and many other fools, fond of treading forbidden paths and abandoning prescribed duties, fall into the Vaitaranui. Having come all along the path, the simple reach the abode of Yama, and having come by command of Yama, the messengers hurl them into that river again. O king of birds, they then hurl those sinners into the Vaitaranui, which is the foremost among hells, who did not make gifts of black cows, nor perform the ceremonies for those who are in the upper body, having suffered great misery in it, go to the tree, standing on its bank. Who give false witness, who perform false duties, who earn by cheating, and who gain a livelihood by thieving, who cut down and destroy big trees, gardens, and forests, who neglect vows and pilgrimages, who destroy the chastity of widows, the woman who despises her husband and thinks about another. Such and others at the silk cotton tree experience much beating. Those who fall down through being beaten, the messengers cast into hells. I will tell you about the sinful who fall into them. Deniers, those who break the laws of morality, the avaricious, those attached to sense objects, hypocrites, the ungrateful, these certainly go to hell. Those who destroy wells, tanks, ponds, shrines, or people's houses, these certainly go to hell. Those who eat having neglected their wives, children, servants, and teachers, and having neglected the offerings to the forefathers and the shining ones, these certainly go to hell. Those who obstruct roads with posts, with mounds, with timber, with stones, or with thorns, these certainly go to hell. Those who, self-indulgent, do not worship Shiva, Shivanga, Hari, Surya, Ganesha, the wise, and the good teachers, these certainly go to hell. The Brahmani, who places a harlot on his bed, goes to a low condition. Begetting offspring of a Shudra woman, he is certainly degraded from the Brahmin rank. The wretched twice born is not worthy of salutation at any time. Those fools who worship him certainly go to hell. Those who are fond of quarrels do not give up causing dissension among Brahmins, and cow fights, but delight in them, they certainly go to hell. Those who, through malignity, commit transgression at the time of conception with women who have no other refuge, these certainly go to hell. Those men who, blinded by passion, consort with women in the monthly courses, on the 4 days of lunar change, in the daytime, in water, on Shradha occasions, these certainly go to hell. Those who throw their bodily refuge into fire, into water, in a garden, in a road, or in a cow pen, these certainly go to hell. Those who are makers of swords and of bows and arrows, and those who are sellers of them, these certainly go to hell. Vaishyas, who are dealers in skins, women who sell their hair, those who sell poisons, all these certainly go to hell. Those who do not compassionate the helpless, who hate the good, who punish the guiltless, these certainly go to hell. Those who do not feed a Brahman guest, who have come full of hope to the house even though food is cooked, these certainly go to hell. Those who are suspicious of all creatures, and who are cruel to them, those who deceive all creatures, these certainly go to hell. Those who assume observances, and afterwards, with senses uncontrolled, cast them away again, these certainly go to hell. Those who do not respect the teacher, who imparts the knowledge of the Supreme Self, and the tellers of the Puranas, these certainly go to hell. Those who betray their friends, those who cut short friendship, and those who destroy hopes, these certainly go to hell. He who interferes with marriage, possessions of the Shining Ones, or bands of pilgrims, dwells in a dreadful hell from which here is no return. The very sinful man who sets fire to a house, a village, or a wood is captured by the messengers of Yama and baked in pits of fire. When his limbs are burnt with fire, he begs for a shady place, and then is led by the messengers into the forest of sword-like leaves. When his limbs are cut by its leaves, sharp as swords, then they say, "Aha, sleep comfortably in this cool shade." When, afflicted with thirst, he begs for water to drink, then the messengers give him boiling oil to drink. Then they say, drink this liquid and eat this food. As soon as he drinks it, he falls down, burning inside. Getting up again somehow, he wails piteously. Powerless and breathless, he is unable even to speak. Thus it is declared, O Dai Goshuyu, that there are many torments for the sinful. Why should I explain them fully when they are spoken of in all the Shahazadras? Being tortured thus, men and women by thousands are baked in dreadful hells until the coming of the deluge. Having eaten their undecaying fruits, they are born again. By order of Yama, they return to the earth and become unmoving and other creatures. Trees, bushes, plants, creepers, rocks, and grasses, these are spoken of as unmoving, enveloped in great delusion. Insects, birds, animals, and fish, it is said that there are 8,400,000 of fates of birth fates. All these evolve thence into the human condition. Having come back from hell, they are born in the human kingdom amongst low castes, outcasts, and even there, by the stains of sin, become very miserable. Thus they become men and women oozing with leprosy, born blind, infested with grievous maladies, and bearing the marks of sin. Okay, taking a little break. So I think I'll do this until for another 1 hour and 30 minutes. Because now the Kabbalah prayer ritual is taking me half an hour. It used to take me 17 minutes. Now it's taking me half an hour. So. Okay, Bhagavata or, I didn't do Mahabharata. No, I did Mahabharata. No, I mean Bhagavad Gita. I am tired, huh? I made a mistake. 190. Okay. Alright, I'm taking a break. I'll read you today's headlines from MSN. Top stories. Driver kills 10 ramming truck into New Orleans crowd in New Year attack. That's the first news. Brian Johnson wants to live forever. A new Netflix film shows the wild ways he's trying. With Russia gaining ground and US support uncertain, Ukraine faces a precarious year ahead. 2025 Rose Bowl Parade. How to watch stream New Year's Day celebration with floats celebs. Psychedelic therapy begins in Colorado, causing tension between conservatives and veterans. At New Year's party with Musk, Trump says he'll attend Jimmy Carter's funeral. The heroic race to rescue 370 orphans from a war zone, twice. Supreme Court Chief Justice John Roberts, court's independence under threat from violence. Why breakfast is busting your food budget. That's, I eat twice a day, nobody eats twice a day except me, I thought. That's not true, I'm not the only person on the planet. Wow, I think future is gonna be 2 meals a day, not 3 meals a day. Because people want to have fun, they want to do things, they don't want to just eat 3 times a day. That's a lot of time wasted. Okay, Bhagavata. Here we go. Namasutta. Anaivanam Purushopam Manundarajihubam Purohasapatim Vaitayanga Navya Maikaiha Katanyaha Surucho Nyasya Devaya Shiranam Bananti Navamanasya Maitaha 아무르트 비양알 우빵 방아짜흐 사짜는 때 살고 나요 대바야따 마이사 마살지 대바야따 마살지 부르하스 파티흐 사 히안조 바람시 비프바 파바트 사 무르테 비프바 파바트 사 무르테 마따리슈방 우파스투팀 나마사 우디아팀 짜 슐로캄 얌사트 사비 때바 얌사트 사비 때바 브라 바후 아시아 그라트바 하니요 요 아스티 무르고 나 비모 아라쿠쇼 사수투 비슈마느 아라쿠쇼 사수투 비슈마느 아시아 슐로코 디바야테 버티비아 마티오 나 얌사디아쿠쇼 프르드 비체땅아흐 무르가놈 나 헤타요 야는띠 제말 부르하스 파테라 히마얌 부르하스 파테라 히마얌 아피 디우느 예 드발 데보스리캄 마니아마나흐 빠빠 파드라 무빠지 바는띠 빠지랑아흐 나 두두예 아누 다다시 빠맘 부르하스바테 자야사 이트바야루무 이트비야루무 수프라이투흐 수야바소 나 빠는탕알 둘리야는 투흐 빠리프리토 나 미트라흐 아날바누어 아피 예 짜쿠쇼테 노피 버릇땅알 아폴누바는 또 아스투흐 삼얌 수투포바나요 나 야는띠 사무드람 나 스라바토 로타차크라흐 사 비드바무 우파얌 제시뚜에 아는딸 부르하스파티스타라 아는딸 부르하스파티스타라 아파시짱 그르트라흐 에방알 마하스투비장 따스투비시마는 부하 부르하스파틸 부르쇼포 마하스투비장 따스투비시마는 마하스투비장 따스투비시마는 부르하스파틸 부르쇼포 에방알 마하스투비장 따스투비시마는 부르하스파틸 부르쇼포 마하스투비장 따스투비시마는 부르하스파틸 부르쇼포 타이 대방 사 나흐 수투토 미라바드타 미라바드타투 고마드 비디아메숑 부르자남 지라다누무 넘었을 Okay. Glorify thou, Buddhaspati, the scatheless who must be praised with hymns, sweet-tongued and mighty, to whom as leader of the song, resplendent, worthy of lauds, both gods and mortals listen. On him wait songs according to the season, even as a stream of pious men sat moving. Buddhaspati, for he laid out the expenses, was at the sacrifice best Mahatarishavan. The praise the verse that offers adoration, may he bring forth as the sun sends his arms out. He who gives daily light through this God's wisdom, strong as a dread wild beast and inoffensive. His song of praise pervades the earth and heaven. Let the wise worshipper draw it like a courser. These of Brihaspati, like hunters' arrows, go to the skies that change their hue like serpents. Those who count thee as a worthless bullock, and wealthy sinners live on thee the bounteous. On fools like these no blessing thou bestowest. Buddhaspati, thou punishest the spiteful. Like a fair path is he, where grass is pleasant. though hard to win, a friend beloved most dearly. Those who, unharmed by enemies, behold us, while they would make them bear, stood closely closely compassed. He to whom songs of praise go forth like torrents, as river eddying under banks flow seaward. Buddhaspati the wise, the eager, closely looks upon both the waters and the vessel. So hath Buddhaspati, great, strong, and mighty, the God exceeding powerful, been brought hither. May he thus lauded give us kine and horses, where we find strengthening food in full abundance. Okay. Do I need a break? Why not? 1 minute break. It's even a little break goes a long way. If you know when to take the break, if you time it just right, the break becomes like a miracle power. Okay, so today is book 3 again. And once again, I slept maybe half an hour. I think I slept. I don't think I slept even 1 hour. But yeah, so excuse my demeanor. I haven't slept. I only slept less than an hour today. Alright, so Yoga Sutra, book 3. Sutra 1. And the comments by Vyasa. Patanjala Yoga Sutra Nui Tatra Tritiyo Vibhuti Padah. Namaste. Ukutani Pancha Bahirangangani Satanani Tarano Bhaktabhya Deshabananta Shichitasya Tarano Bhaktabhya Deshabananta Shichitasya Tarano Na Pichakre Hridaya Punundarike Multani Jyotishui Nasikagre Jihvagra Ityevamadishu Desheshu Bahye Ba Vishoye Chitasya Purutati Matrena Bananta Iti Tarano Bananta Iti Tarano. Okay, book 3, Supernormal Powers. The 5 indirect aids to yoga have been described. Fixed attention is to be described. Binding the mind stuff to a place is fixed attention. Binding of the mind stuff only insofar as it is a fluctuation to the navel or to the heart lotus or to the light within the head or to the tip of the nose or to the tip of the tongue or to other places of the same kind or to an external object. This is fixed attention. Tatra pratyayikatanata dhyanam tasminandashe dhyalambanasya pratyayasyaikatanata sadrushah prabhah pratyayanantarena paramurashuto dhyanam. I got attacked. Focusedness of the presented idea upon that place is contemplation. The focusedness of the presented idea upon the object to be contemplated in that place, in other words, the stream of like quality, unaffected by any other presented idea. I got attacked. Wow. Tadeval tamatra nilpasam Svarupashunyamiva Samatih Dhyanameva Dhyayakara Nilpasam Pratyayatamakena Svarupena shunyamiva yadang pavati Tyeyasva pava veshat tadang Tyeyasva pava veshat tadang Samatirityuchyate. Number 1. Takutraya. 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 Ah, okay. So I have to make sure I see this. The same, shining forth, as the intended object and nothing more, and, as it were, emptied of itself, is concentration. When the contemplation only shines forth in the form of the object to be contemplated, and is, as it were, empty of itself, insofar as it becomes identical with the presented idea as such, then by fusing with the nature of the object to be contemplated, it is said to be concentration. Oh yeah, this one. Takutrayamekatra Trayamekatra Samyamaha. So I did the 2 versions. That's what I did. Tade tarano dhyana samatitrayamekatra Samyamaha. Ekavishayanui Trinui Satanani Samyama iti uchyate. Tadasya Trayasya Tanantriki Paripashwa Samyama iti. These same 3, fixed attention and contemplation and concentration in one, are constraint. The 3 in one are constraint. When having a single object, the 3 means are called constraint. So the technical term in this system for these 3 is constraint. Tajujayat Brajinya Lokah Tasya Samyamasya Jayat Samati Brajinya Pavatya Loko Yatanga Samyamaha Satirapado Pavati Tatanga. Number 1. Tateshivara Prasadat Sama Tateshivara Prasadat Samati Prajinya. Sorry. Alright. Tateshivara Prasadat Samati Prajinya. Samati Prajinya Visharadi Pavati. Samati Prajinya Visharadi Pavati. As a result of mastering this constraint, there follows a shining forth of insight. As a result of mastering this constraint, there follows a shining forth of concentrated insight. Just in proportion as constraint enters a stable state, in that proportion the concentrated insight becomes clear. Tasya Bhumishu Viniyogah Tasya Samyamasya Jita Bhumeria Nanantara Bhumisatatra Viniyogah. Na Yajita Thara Bhumira Nanan Yajita Thara Bhumira Yajita Thara Bhumira Nanantapu Yajita Thara Bhumira Nanantara Bhumim Bilangankia Yajita Thara Bhumiran Miran Yajita Thara Bhumiranantara Bhumim Bilangankia Prananta Bhumishu Samyamam Lapate Tada Pava Chacha Kutasatasya Prajinya Lokah Ishvara Prasada Jijitotatara Bhumi Kasya Number 1. Pranuitana. 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 G. Okay. Pranuitana. Pranuitana. Where is it? I'm lost. Ah, here we go. Ishvara Pranui. Dana. Ishvara Pranui. Tana. Ishvara Pranui Tana. Ishvara Pranui Tana. Chichito Tatara Pumi Kasya. Alright. Yeah. Yep, got it. Ja na tarapu mishu. Parichitata jnana adishu. Samyamo yukutaha. Kasmat tadaltasya nyata. Sorry. Number 2. Nya Taiban. Nya Taiban. Okay, Nya Taiban. Tadaltasya nya Taiban bagatatevat. Okay. Evan bagatatevat. Pumeration. Yamanantara. Pumidityatra yoga. Evopathyayah. Katam. Evam. Number 3. Evam Mukutam. Hyukutam. Yogena yogo. Jñatavyo yogo yogata pravatate yo pramatasutu yogena sa yoge ramate chiram iti. Okay. Its application is by stages. The application of it, that is, the constraint is to that stage which is next to the stage already mastered. For by overleaping the next stage without having first mastered the lower stage, he does not gain constraint in the highest stages. If he did not, how could he gain the shining forth of insight? Again, the constraint of one who by the grace of the Ishvara has gained the higher stage does not apply to such things as the mind stuff thinking in other persons who are on the lower stages. Why is this? Since the purpose of this has been obtained from elsewhere. Yoga is itself the only spiritual guide that this stage is next to that stage. How is this? Because it has been said to be thus. By yoga, yoga must be known. Yoga increaseth yoga's store. He who for yoga care hath shown, in yoga rests forevermore. Yoga. Alright, I'm gonna keep going. Oh yeah, I wanted to check this spelling. Alright, I'm gonna come down. We humans did not take care of these holy texts. They did not take care. We did not take. I'm a human being too. We did not take care of these holy texts. That was our fault. That was our mistake. We did not keep the texts intact. Now the texts are changed. They look different. It's not good. None of this is good. I mean, eventually somebody's gonna have to figure out all the lost texts. We're talking about texts from, 5,000 years ago. It's lost. It's gone. Hiukutamu, yogena, yogo, jinyatavio, yogo, yogatama paravaltat, yogatama paravaltate, yogata paravaltate. Oof. Yoparamate tasutu, yogena, sa, yoge, ramate, chiramu, iti. It's funny how Sanskrit doesn't allow me to say it because I'm saying the wrong thing. That's the difference between Sanskrit and all the other languages, is that Sanskrit is a living language. It's like a cat. Like if you mess with it, it'll mess with you. Like if you mess with Sanskrit, it's living. It's a living language, just like the Bible says that, you know, on the new earth, humans will speak a new language, new living language. That is Sanskrit. And I'm gonna have to teach somebody how to say this. But anyway, we're almost at the end of the world. Almost at the end of the world. 떠라야만은 따랑은감 볼베피아흐 따뜻따뜻하라너 티아나 사마티 떠라야만은 따랑은감 산뿌라지냐 따시야 사마테흐 볼베피오 야마디피아흐 반짜피아흐 사타네피아 이띠. Iti means the end. And iti almost sounds like somebody, you know, honking, like iti, iti. The three are direct aids in comparison with the previous. The same three, fixed attention and contemplation and concentration, are direct aids to conscious concentration in comparison with the previous means, the five beginning with the abstentions. Tadapi bahirangangam libijasya tadapianan tarangangam satanatrayam libijasya yogasya bahirangangam pavati kasmat tadapavo tadapave pavaditi. I got attacked while I was. So whenever I make a mistake, that means somebody's attacking me. It didn't used to be like that, but now I'm getting really good in reading Sanskrit. So whenever I'm making a mistake, 90% of the time it's because somebody's messing with me. So, you know, and that means the angels are recording this. So whoever's messing with me while I'm speaking Sanskrit or the translation will be punished severely by the angel who's gonna come here. Tadapyanan tarangangam 사타나트라얌 리비자시야 요가시야 바히랑은감 파바티 가스마트 다다파베 파바디티. Once again, as a warning to all the humans, whoever's messing with me while I'm reading Sanskrit will be thrown into hell forever and ever and ever. What does that mean? You'll be born as an insect, a cockroach, over and over and over and over until the end of the world. A cockroach. Forever. I'm trying to be nice, but you know, stupid humans don't play nice. Nice humans, they're nice. But stupid humans, they're stupid. They're more stupid than a 7-year-old. Attends, niro tachite takoshwa, niro tachite takosho nuashu, jalam, kuna burata tamiti, ki dere chasata dan, jitata pari no mahu. Beautetana niro ta samsekara yora pipava, beautetana niro ta samsekara yora pipava bradul pavao. Niro takusho no jitetanen bayo, niro beautetana niro ta samsekara yora pi. Beautetana niro ta samsekara yora pipava bradul pavao. Niro takusho no jitetanen bayo. 니로타 파리너 마흐 비우트탕나 삼스깡랑 아시찌뜨다 탈망알 나때 브라티아야 뜨마깡알 이띠 브라티아야 니로테 나 니루드탕알 니로타 삼스깡랑 아삐 찌뜨다 탈마스따요라 피파바 브라둘파바 찌뜨다 탈마스따요라 피파바 찌뜨다 탈마스따요라 피파바 브라둘파바 비우트탕나 삼스깡랑 히야는 때 니로타 삼스깡랑 아티야는 때 니로타 쿠쇼놈 찌뜨다 마는 바띠 따데카시양 찌뜨다시양 바띠 쿠쇼놈이담 삼스깡랑 니아타 뜨밤 니로타 파리노 마흐 따덩 삼스깡라 셰쇼엄 찌뜨다 미띠 니로타 사마타오 비아키아 따무.
Alright. Oh, I didn't read the, did I read? I didn't read the translation. Even these are indirect aids to seedless. Even these, the three direct means of attainment are indirect aids to seedless yoga. Why is this? Since this latter occurs even when these are absent. Now, since during the restricted moments of the mind stuff, the changes of the aspects are unstable, of what sort are those times is the mutation? At those times is the mutation of the mind stuff. When there is a becoming invisible of the subliminal impression of emergence and a becoming visible of the subliminal impression of restriction, the mutation of restriction is inseparably connected with mind stuff in its period of restriction. The subliminal impressions of emergence are external aspects of mind stuff. Since they do not consist of presented ideas, they are not restricted when presented ideas are restricted. The subliminal impressions of restriction are also external aspects of mind stuff. When these two become visible or become invisible, the subliminal impressions of emergence are withdrawing and the subliminal impressions of restriction are being brought into place. The period of restriction is inseparably connected with the mind stuff. Accordingly, the mutation of restriction is this periodic alteration of subliminal impressions of a single mind stuff, because then the mind stuff has nothing but subliminal impressions, as has been explained with reference to the concentration of restriction.
Okay. Oh yeah, I wanted to check one of the spelling. Sure. Got it. Tasien brashan taban hitan samsekarat 니로타 삼색가라 피아 사빠 떠박 백구슈 니로타 삼색가라 피아 사빠 떠백 니로타 삼색가라 피아 사빠 떠박 백구슈. Number 1 라는 니로타 삼색가라 피아 니로타 삼스까라는 니로타 삼스까라 피아사빠 떠바 백구슈. 니로타 삼스까라는 니로타 삼스까라 피아 니로타 삼스까라 니로타 삼스까라는 니로타 삼스까라 피아사빠 떠바 백구슈. 브라샤는 따바 히땅 찌뜨다시야 파바띠 따뜻 삼스까라마는 뒤에 비우트타나 탈미너 비우트타나 탈미너 삼스까레너 니로타 니로타 탈마 삼스가로 피푸야따 탈마흐 니로타 탈마흐 삼스가로 피푸야따 이띠. This flows peacefully by reason of the subliminal impression. By reason of the subliminal impression of restriction, the peaceful flow of the mind stuff requires dexterity in the application of the subliminal impressions of restriction. When these subliminal impressions become weak, the subliminal impression, which has external aspects of restriction, is overwhelmed by the subliminal impression, which has external aspects of emergence. 살발 타타이까 그라타요흐 구쇼요다야오 지트타시야 사마티 파리노마흐 살발 타땅아 지트타 타이마흐 에까 그라타피 지트타 타이마흐 살발 타타야흐 구쇼야스티로 파바 이티알타흐 에까 그라타야 우다야 빌파바 이티알타흐 따열 탈미트 베나 누가땀 지트땀 따디담 지트땀 아빠 요빠자나 요흐. Number 1 나나 요흐 지트다마 빵아요 빠자나나요흐 스바트마 푸다요 탈마요라 스바트마 푸다요 탈마요라 누가땀 사마티야테 상 지트다시야 사마티 파리노마흐. The mutation of concentration is the dwindling of dispersiveness and the uprisal of singleness of intent belonging to the mind stuff. Dispersiveness is an external aspect of the mind stuff. Singleness of intent is an external aspect of the mind stuff. The dwindling of dispersiveness means that it disappears. The uprisal of singleness of intent means that it becomes apparent. The mind stuff is inseparably connected with both of these as the substance. The same mind stuff being inseparably connected with these two external aspects which belong to itself, the passing away and the coming forth, becomes concentrated. This is the mutation of concentration. Tatahe, punahe, shanan toditao, tulia patiao, tulia pratiayao, Chittatasyaika grata parinomahe samahita chittatasya pulva pratyayahe shananta uttatarasatata sadrosha uditahe samati chittatamu nugatam samati chittatamu nugatam samati chittatamu nugatam Punasata taiva samati pre fuditi punasata taiva samati pre fuditi sa kalivayam taimino shichitatasyaika grata parinomahe. Then again, when the quiescent and the uprisen presented ideas are similar, the mind stuff has a mutation single in intent. The quiescent is a previous presented idea of one whose mind stuff is concentrated. The uprisen is a later presented idea of the same kind as this. But the mind stuff of concentration is likewise inseparably connected with both. This is so until the breaking down of the concentration. The same mutation of singleness in intent belongs to the mind stuff in which it resides. 에테나 부때는들이 예슈 달말라쿠쇼너 바스타 바리너마 비아키아다흐. Sorry about that. Music died. 에테나 불보크테나 wait 지트타파리노메나 달말라쿠쇼노. I'm gonna start from the beginning again. 에테나 부때는들이 예슈 달말라쿠쇼노 바스타 바리노마 비아키아다흐. 에테나 불보크테나 지트타파리노메나 달말라쿠쇼노 바스타루베너 달말라쿠쇼노 바스타루베너 부때는들이 예슈 달마파리노모 라쿠쇼노 파리노모 바스타 파리노 마시초쿠토 베디타비아흐 따트라 비우트타나 니로타열 달마요라 달마 비우트타나 니로타열 달마요라 비파바브라 둘파바오 달미누이 달마파리노마흐 비우트타나 니로타열 달마요라 비파바브라 둘파바오 피파바 비우트타나 니로타열 달마요라 피파바 브라둘파바오 달미누이 달마파리노마흐 라쿠쇼노 파리노 마시짱 니로타스들이 라쿠쇼노스들이 피라 니로타스들이 라쿠쇼노스들이 피라트바 피리유크타흐 성 카를바나 가탈라쿠쇼노 마트바남 브라타맘 히트발 달마트바마나 니크라는 또 발타마나 라쿠쇼놈
Number 1.
발타마남 라쿠쇼놈 프라티파는나흐 야트라시안 스바루 베너 피비아크티흐 Exorcism 드비티요 트발 나 짜티타 나가타 피암 라쿠쇼노 피암 비우크타흐 따탕 비우트타남 드리라쿠쇼놈 드리피라트바 피리우크탐 발타마나 라쿠쇼놈
Number 2.
마남 발타마남 라쿠쇼놈 히트발 탈마트바마나 티크라는 따마티타 라쿠쇼놈 프라티파는 나무 에쇼시안 드르티요트발 나 짜나 가타 발타마나 피암 라쿠쇼노 피암 비우크탐 에밤 보날 비우트타나 무파 삼파디아마나 마나 가타 라쿠쇼놈 히트발 달마트바마나 티크라는 땀 발타마나 라쿠쇼놈
Number 3. Okay.
발타마남 라쿠쇼놈 프라티파는 나무 야트라시안 스바루바 피비아크타오 사티암 비아바라흐 에쇼시안 드비티요트발 나 짜디 다나 가다 뺨 라쿠쇼노 뺨 비우쿠타미티 에밤 보날 니로타 에밤 보날 비우트타 나미티 따타 바스타 파리노 마흐 Number 1 니 따뜨라 니로타쿠쇼 누에슈 니로타쿠쇼 누에슈 니로타 삼스까라 발라바는 또 바바는 띠 둘발라 비우트타나 삼스까라 이띠 에쇼 탈마너 마바스타 파리노 마흐 따뜨라 탈미노 탈마이흐 파리노모 탈마놈 드리아트바남 라크쇼노이흐 파리노모 라크쇼노나 마비아바스타 피흐 파리노마 이띠 에밤 탈마 라크쇼노 바스타 파리노마이흐 슈니암 나 쿠쇼노마피 구노브르트다마비 구노브르트다마바티슈터테 짤람 짜 구노브르트다마 구노스바 파비암 뚜 브라브르트티카라 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 노무쿠탐 구노나미티 에테나 부테는들이 예슈 탈마탈미벳 탈마탈미페다 그들이 비타흐 파리노모 베디타비아흐 파라말타스 파라말타타스트 파라말타타스트 베칸 에바 파리노마흐 탈미스바루 파마트로 히 탈모 탈미비끄리 야이바이슈 탈마드바라 브라판치아타 이티 따뜨라 탈마시아 탈미누이 발타마나시아이바 트바스바티 다나가타바 발타마나시아이바 트바스바티 발타마나시아이바 트바스바티 다나가타바 발타마네슈 가타 발타마네슈 발타마나시아이바 트바스바티 발타마나시아이바 트바스바티 다나가타 발타마나시아이바 트바스바티 다나가타 발타마네슈 파바니아 타뜨밤 파바티 나 Number 1 Okay Number 1 들어 That's it 두 드라비아니아 타뜨밤 야통알 수발노 파자나시아 피트뜨바니아 타그리아노 마시마 피트뜨바니아 타그리아마노시아 파바니아 타뜨밤 파바티 나 수발너니아 타뜨밤이티 아빠라 아하 탈마나 피아티코 아빠라 아하 탈마나 피아티코 탈미 볼바타뜨뜨바나티크라마트 볼바파라바스타 페다마노파리 볼바파라바스타 페다마노파티타흐 가우터스티에나이바 파리바테타 야디아는 바이 시안디티 sorry 야마 아야마도셔흐 가스마트 에까는 따따나 피우 에까는 따따나 피우 바가마트 Number 2 Ekanantana, 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 Pyupagamat. Tadetakuturai, Tadetakuturai, Tadetakuturai Lokyam. Vyakaterapaiti, Nityatva Pratishwe, Nityatva Pratishwe Tant, Apetamapyasati, Vinasha Pratishwe Tant, Samsalgan Chachan Sian, Saukushimiam, Saukushimian Chachan no Palabatiriti, Saukushimian Chachan no Palabatiriti, Lakashona Parinomo, Talmotvasu, Vaitamano Tita Lakashona Yukutona Gata Vaitamana Pyam, Lakashona Pyam Abiyukutahu, Lakashona Pyam Abiyukutahu, sorry. Tatana Gato Nagata Lakashona Yukuto, Vaitamana. Tatana gato nagata lakashono yukuto, Vaitamana tita pyam, lakashono pyam abiyukutahu. Tatan, Vaitamana lakashono yukuto tita nagata pyam, lakashono pyam abiyukuta iti. Yatan, Purusho ekasyam, sutriyam, rakuto na. Sheshosu Virakuto Pavatiti Atra Lakushono Parinome Salvasian Salva Lakushono Yoga Datva Samkarahu Salva Lakushono Yoga Datva Samkarahu Prapunotiti Parae Doshashi Jodiatan Iti Tasya Pariharahu Talmanam Talmatavama Prasatyam Sati Jan Talmatave Lakushona Pedopi Vajyo Na Vaitamana Samaya Evasyam Talmatavama Evam Hi Na Chitatam Raga Talmakam Syat Gorotakale Ragasya Samudajaraditi Timchan Trayanam Lakushononam Yugapadekasyam Vyakatau Nasati Sampavaha Gramena tu Sivavyanjakan Janasya Pavo Pavediti Ukutam Chan Rupa Tishayan Purutyatishayan Shichan. Number 1. Parasapareno Virutyanante Samanyani Svatishayaihu Saha Parapaitanante Tasmada Samkarahu Yatan Ragasyaiva Gvachit Samudajara Iti Na Tadani Maniatra Pavahu Kimtu Kevalam Samanyena Samanam Bhagata Ityasati Tadan Tatra Tasya Pavahu Tatan Lakushonosyati Na Talmi Duriyatvan Talmasutu Duriyatvan Nasate Lakushritan Alakushritan Sutatra Lakushritan Sutam Tamapasatam Prapunuvanantoniatvena Pratinildishyanan Devasatanan Tarato Na Dravyanan Taratahu Yataikan Rekan Shatasatane Shatam Dashasthane, Dashaikang. Number 2. Dashaikam. Jaikasthane. Yatan. Jaikatvapi Sutri. Matan. Chochiate. Duhitan. Jan Subasan. Jati. I think I missed something. Oh, no, never mind. Avasatha pariname Gautasutya prasanganga doshaha Kaishiti dukataha Katham Atvano Vyaparena Vyapahitatvat Yadam Taimaha Svabhyaparam Na Karoti Tadana Gato Yadam Karoti Tadam Paitamano Yadam Kurtavan Nibrata Tastada Tita Nibrata Tastada Tita Ityevam Taima Taimino Lakushonona Mavasatanam Ja Gautasutyam Prabhunotiti Paraidosha Uchyate Na sao doshaha Kasamat Kunoimitya Tavapi Kunonam Bimalda Jai Bimalda Vai Chitriyat Bimalda Vai Chitriyat Yatan Samsatana Madi Madhatma Matram Shabdadinam. Number 1. V. Gunonam Vinashinam Evam Lingamadi Madhatma Matram Lingamadi Madhatma Matram Satatavadinam Gunonam Vinashinam Tasaminan Vikara Samjinyati Tatureda Mudaharanam Murudu Taimi Binundakara de Taima Nantara Mupa Sampadiyamano Binundakara de Taima Nantara Mupa Sampadiyamano Taimataha Parinomate Katakara iti Katakaro nagatam Lakushonam hitvan Paitamana lakushonam Pratipadyatan iti Lakushonotaha Parinomate Kato Navapuranotam Pratikushonamanu Pavanan Navasatha Parinomam Pratipadyatan iti Taiminopi Taimanantara Vasatha Taimasyapi Lakushona Taramapa Sthetieka Lakushona Taramabas Sthitieka Lakushonan Taramabasatieka Basatetieka Lakushonan Taramabasatieka Evan Terabia Parinomo Pedenopa Dashitan iti Evam Patai Tanan Tareshivapi Yojiamiti Tan ete Tamalakushono Basata Parinoma Tamisvaru Pamanatikranan Tan Itieka Evam Parinomaha Saivanapu 살바나문은 비셔는 나 피플라바테 살바나문은 살바나문은 비셔 나 피플라 살바나문은 비셔 나 피플라바테 살바나문은 비셔 나 피플라바테 블라블라블라 살바나문은 비셔 나 피플라바테 Attends, Goyam, Parinomahe, Avasetitation, de l'aviation, Bulba Talmani Burutatown, Talmanan Tarot Patatihe, Parinoma, Iti. Thus, with regard to elements and to organs, mutations of external aspects and of time variation and of intensity have been enumerated. Thus, by the already described mutations of mind stuff in external aspect, and in time variation and in intensity, the mutation of external aspect in elements and organs, the mutation of time variation, and the mutation of intensity are to be understood as having been described. Of these, the mutation of external aspect takes place in the substance and is the becoming invisible of the external aspect of emergence and the becoming visible of the external aspect of restriction. And the mutation of time variation is the restriction having the 3 time variations, connected with the 3 time forms. This, one may say, puts aside the first time form, whose time variation is yet to come, and passes into the present time variation, without, however, passing out of its state as external aspect. This is its second time form, and it is not completely severed from past or from future time variations. Likewise, emergence has the 3 time variations. It is connected with the 3 time forms. Having put aside the present time variation, it passes over into the past time variation, without, however, passing out of its state as external aspect. This is its third time form. And it is not completely severed from the future and the present time variations. In the same manner, emergence completing itself again, having put aside the future time variation, and not having passed out of its state as external aspect, passes into the present time variation, in which, since this manifests itself as it is, it obtains its functional activity. This is the second time form of this, and it is not completely released from past and future time variations. In the same way, it continues, now restriction, now emergence. Similarly, the mutation of intensity. In it, during the moments of restriction, the subnormal impressions of restriction become powerful, and the subnormal impressions of emergence become weak. This, then, is the external aspect's mutation of intensity. In these cases, the substance has a mutation in its external aspects. The external aspects have mutation in time variations. And the time variations also have mutation in intensities. Consequently, the changes of the aspects do not remain, even for a moment, devoid of mutations of external aspect and of time variation and of intensity, for the changes of the aspects are unstable. And we say that it is of the very nature of the aspects to cause activity. Thus we have to understand the threefold mutation in the case of elements and organs. They're resorting to low means now. They're throwing something and running away. Cockroaches, man. Like, some humans are worse than cockroaches. I love cockroaches better than some humans, for sure. For sure. Similarly, the mutation of intensity. In it, during the moments of restriction, the subliminal impressions of restriction become powerful, and the subliminal impressions of emergence become weak. This, then, is the external aspect's mutation of intensity. In these cases, the substance has a mutation in its external aspects. The external aspects have mutation in time variations, and the time variations also have mutation in intensities. Consequently, the changes of the aspects do not remain. 살인자들하고 강간자들밖에 없어요. 여기. Okay. Yeah, there's so there are murderers and rapists in this building. There's at least 2 murderers and 1 rapist. So there's 3 really evil people living here, and I said that before. Okay, moving on. Similarly, the mutation of intensity. In it, during the moments of restriction, the subliminal impressions of restriction become powerful, and the subliminal impressions of emergence become weak. This then is the external aspect's mutation of intensity. In these cases, the substance has a mutation in its external aspects. The external aspects have mutation in time variations, and the time variations also have mutation in intensities. Consequently, the changes of the aspects do not remain, even for a moment, devoid of mutations of external aspect and of time variation and of intensity, for the changes of the aspects are unstable. And we say that it is of the very nature of the aspects to cause activity. Thus, we have to understand the threefold mutation in the case of elements and organs, because there is a distinction between the substance and the external aspects. But in the strict sense, there is but a single mutation, for the external aspect is nothing more than the substance itself, since it is merely an evolved form of the substance amplified in the form of an external aspect. In such cases, there is within the substance an alteration of the condition of the present external aspect with regard to past and future and present time forms. There is no alteration of the matter. Just as by dividing a plate of gold, there is an alteration of its condition, insofar as it is altered. There is no alteration of the gold. An opponent objects as follows. A substance is nothing over and above the external aspects, for it cannot pass beyond its previous existence. If again, it were something present in all its external aspects but different from them, then it will come to be known as a something itself absolutely unchanged, although connected with a series of changes. But this has no weakness. Why? Because we do not maintain an absolute unity. This world passes out of the state of a phenomenalized form, and this we say because we deny that it is permanent. Again, it continues to exist even after it has passed out, for we deny its annihilation. On being refunded, it takes a subtle form, and by reason of this subtle form, it becomes unapperceived. An external aspect in the mutation of time variation exists really in time forms. Past having the past time variation do not completely sever from future and present time variations. Future having the future time variation do not completely sever from present and past time variations. Present having a present time variation do not completely sever from past and future time variations. Take the case of a man enamored of one particular woman. He has not thereby lost his sexual feeling for the rest of women folk. Here the difficulty is brought forward by others that since all 3 time variations are connected with everything that is in the mutation of time variation, it must follow that the time forms are confounded. We meet this objection thus. What is termed the common nature of things as external aspects cannot be brought into existence. The common nature exists, and therefore in regard to it, the distinctions of time variations must be maintained. Thus it must not be said that the common nature of this or that thing exists only in the present time, because if this were so, the mind stuff could never become subject to passion. For anger, desire would not move actively forth. Moreover, it is not possible for the 3 time variations to belong simultaneously to one and the same phenomenalized form. But what is possible is the presentation in successive times of its phenomenal by the operation of the conditions which phenomenalize it. Thus it has been said, the forms to a high degree and the fluctuations to a high degree oppose each other, but the generic forms cooperate with it with a high degree. Hence, they are not confounded. To take an example, when we say absolutely that passion for a certain thing has shown itself, that at that time for another object is non-existent, continues to be present, though in a generic form. Hence, if for that exists at that time. A similar thing in the case of time variation. The three time forms do not belong to the substance but to the external aspects. These have a time variation or do not have a time variation. And as entering into various intensities are known by different names, an alteration of intensity but not of matter. Thus the same stroke is termed 1 in the unit place, and 10 in the tens place, and 100 in the hundredths place. So too the same woman is called a mother and a daughter and a sister. Some persons have objected that in the case of a thing which mutates in intensity must logically be held to be absolutely permanent. How is this? On the ground that it is functional activity of the thing which determines the time form of the thing. Thus a thing is said to be a future thing when it is not exerting its own activity, and a present thing when it is thus active, and a past thing when it has ceased from activity. Hence, say these persons, it follows that substance and external aspect and time variation and intensity are all absolutely permanent. But that weakness does not exist. For we hold that although a substrate is permanent, its aspects suffer a variety of antagonisms. Just as any arrangement of parts is only an external aspect of the imperishable subtle elements, sound and the rest, and has a beginning and an end, so the resoluble is only an external aspect of the imperishable aspects, the sattva and the others, and has a beginning and an end, and to it the term iva form is applied. The following serves as an illustration. The substance clay passes from its external aspect in the form of a round lump of clay into another external aspect, and thus as an external aspect enters into mutation in the form of a water jar. The water jar form, putting aside its future time variation, assumes its present time variation. Here is the mutation as time variation. The water jar is every moment undergoing oldness and newness, and thus passes through mutations of intensity. Thus the substance also has another external aspect, which is the intensity. And the external aspect has also another time variation, which is the intensity. There is therefore only one mutation of matter, though variously described. The same explanation is applicable to other things also. The mutations of external aspect and of time variation and of intensity do not transcend the substance as such. Hence there is only one kind of a mutation which includes all those varieties we have described. What then is a mutation? It is the rise of another external aspect in a permanent matter after an earlier external aspect has been repressed. Okay, I'm gonna do Bhagavad Gita. I wanted to check some spelling, so I'm gonna take a break right now, and using that break I'm gonna check some spelling. Okay. I saw something, I don't remember which one it is. They look okay, these look okay, probably the previous. Okay, I guess I'll just move on. Yeah. Shritan se lakushri alakushritan se tatra. Tam Ashichan Tam Ashichan Alakushritan Ashichan Tam Sitatra Tam Abasitan Lakushri Tan Sitam Tam Abasitan Prapunu Banantoniat Vena Pratinildi Shanante Basatan and Tarato 나 드라비아는 따랐다흐 야타이칸 레칸 샤타스타네 샤땀 다샤스타네 다샤이칸 다샤이감 자이카스타네 여토안 자이카트바피 스트리 마탄 조치아테 두히탄 자 스바상안 자티 아바스타 파리노메 갑도스티아마 갑도스티아 프라상은가 도셔흐 가이시지 두쿠타흐 까타무 아트바노 비아바레노 비아바히타트바트 야동 탈마흐 스바비아바람 나 가로티 타다나 가토 야동 가로티 타당 발타마노 야당 그르트반 니버르트 따스타당 티탄 니버르트 따스타당 티탄 이티에밤 탈마탈미노 라쿠쇼노나 마바스타남 자 가르터스티암 브라브노티티 파라이도셔 우치아테
I made a mistake, so I have to read all over again. It's not that much. Just 3 minutes.
나사우 도셔흐 가스마트 구노이니티아트 바피 구노남 비말다바이치트리아트 야통 삼스타나마디마드 탈마마트람 샤브다디남 구노남 비나시나메밤 링은가마디마드 탈마마트람 사트트바디남 구노남 비나시남 다스미는 비카라 삼지냐띠 따뜨레다 무다하라넘 무르드 탈미 비는드 까라드 탈마는 따라 무빠 삼바디아마노 비는드 까라드 탈마드 비는드 까라드 탈마는 따라 무빠 삼바디아마노 비는두 까라드 탈마는 따라 무빠 삼바디아마노 탈마타흐 파리노마테 카트까라 이티 카트까로나가탐 라쿠쇼넘 히트반 발타마나 라쿠쇼넘 파티파디아탄 이티 라쿠쇼노타흐 파리노마테 카투 나바푸라노탐 파티쿠쇼넘 아누파바는 나바스타 파리노맘 파티파디아탄 이티 탈미노피 탈마는 따라 마바스탄 탈마시안피 스테티에까 라쿠쇼노는 따라 마바스티 라쿠쇼노는 따라 마바스테티 라쿠쇼노는 따라 마바스티에까 마바스테티에까 라쿠쇼노는 따라 마바스테티에까
Alright.
에반 드라비아 파리노모 페데노파 다시탄 이티 에반 바달 타는 따레 시바피 요지아미티 타 에테 탈마라쿠쇼노 바스타 파리노말 탈미스바루 파마나 탈마라쿠쇼노 바스타 파리노말 탈미스바루 파마나 달미 스바루 바마나티크라는 당 이티에칸 에바 파리노마흐 살바나 무는 비셰셔나 피프라바트 살바나 무는 비셰셔나 피프라바트 아탄 고얌 파리노마흐 아바스티타시안 드라비아시안 볼바 탈마니트 볼바 탈마니 버르트땅 탈마는 따로 뜻파트 티흐 파리노마 이티. Okay. Alright. I'm not gonna take a break. I'll just read Bhagavad Gita. It's tomorrow 14. That was so much work. Alright. Bhagavad Gita coming up. Yeah, switch scenes. Whew. Okay, today's chapter 4, and it's 42 verses long. I'm starting to memorize a lot of this stuff. It's a really good thing, folks. All right. Okay, so today's chapter 4 in Bhagavad Gita. Okay, here we go. Namaste. Atha Chatulto Thyāyaha Jñāna Kalma Samnya Sayogaha Shri Bhagavanuvāca Imam Vivasvate Yogam Prokotavana Hamabhyayam Vivasvanam Manave Praha Manurikushva Kave Bravit Evam Paramam Para Praputamimam Rajashoyo Viduha Sa Kaleneha Mahatan Yogo Nashitaha Paranantapa Sa Evayam Mayan Tediya Yogaha Prokataha Puratanaha Pakutosi Me Sakan Jati Rahasyam Hieta Dudatamam Arjuna Ubangacha Aparam Pavato Janama Param Janama Vivasvataha Katameta de Vijaniyam Devamadao Prokutavaniti Shri Bhagavan Ubangacha Pafuni Me Vyatitani Janamani Tava Janjuna Tanyaham Veda Chaivanui Na Devam Vatata Paranantapa Ajopi Sananavyayatama Bhutanami Shivaropi Sana Prakratim Svamatishitaya Samampavamyatmamaya Yadan Hi Kaimasya Glanil Pavati Parata अभ्युत्थानमथैमस्यां तदात्मानं सृजाम्यहम् अभ्युत्थानमथैमस्यां तदात्मानं सृजाम्यहम् Sorry. परित्राणोया साधूनां विनाशाय च दुष्कृतां धर्मसंस्थापनार्थाय सम्भवामि युगे युगे सम्भवामि युगे युगे जन्म कर्म च मे दिव्यमेवं यो वदति तद्वतः त्यक्त्वा देहं पुनर्जन्म नैति मामेति सोऽर्जुन वीतरागभयक्रोधा मनोमयं मामुपाश्रिताः बहवो ज्ञानतपसा पूता मद्भावमागताः यथा मां प्रपद्यन्ते तांस तथैव भजाम्यहम् मम वर्तमानुवर्तन्ते मनुष्याः पार्थ सर्वशः काङ्कुशलन्तः कर्मणां सिद्धिं यजन्त इह देवताः कुष्विपुरां हि मानुषे लोके सिद्धिर्भवति कर्मजाय चातुर्वर्ण्यं मया सृष्टं गुणकर्मविभागशः तस्य कर्तारमपि मां विदध्य कर्तारमव्ययम् न मां कर्माणि लिम्पन्ति न मे कर्मफले स्पृहा इति मां योऽभिजानाति कर्मफलिना सा पठ्यते एवं ज्ञातवान् कृतं कर्म पूर्वैरपि मुमुक्षुभिः कुरु कर्मैव तस्मात् त्वं पूर्वैः पूर्वतरं कृतम् किं कर्म किमकर्मेति कवयोऽप्यत्र मोहिताः तत्ते कर्म प्रवक्ष्यामि यज्ज्ञातवान् मुकुशशुभात् कर्मणो ह्यपि बोद्धव्यं च विकर्मणः अकर्मणश्च बोद्धव्यं गहना कर्मणो गतिः कर्मणो कर्म यः पश्येद कर्मणि च कर्म यः स बुद्धिमान् मनुष्येषु स युक्तः कृतस्न कर्म कृत् यस्य सर्वे समारम्भाः कामसङ्कल्पवर्जिताः ज्ञानाग्निदग्धकर्माणं तमाहुः पानन्द्वैतं बुधाः त्यक्त्वा कर्मफलासङ्गं नित्यतृप्तो निराश्रयः कर्मणोऽभिप्रवृत्तोऽपि नैव किञ्चित् करोति सः निराशीर्यतचित्तात्मा त्यक्तः सर्वपरिग्रहः शारीरं केवलं कर्म कुर्वन् नाप्नोति किल्बिषम् यदृच्छालाभसन्तुष्टो द्वन्द्वातीतो विमत्सरः समः सिद्धावसिद्धौ च कृत्वापि न निबध्यते गतसङ्गस्य मुक्तस्य ज्ञानावस्थितचेतसः यज्ञायाचरतः कर्म समग्रं प्रविलीयते Brahma Ipanam, Brahma, Havil Brahma, Gneo, Brahmano Uttam, Brahma Iva Tena Ganantavyam, Brahma Kaima Samathina. Taeva Meva Pare Nyajinyam Yoginah Pariupa Sate, Brahma Guna Vapare, Brahma Guna Vapare Yajinyam, Yajinyena Ivopa Juhuvati. Shrotradi Ninandriya Nuyanie, Samyama Gnishu Juhuvati. Shabdadi Nambishayanania, Inandriya Gnishu Juhuvati. Salvanui Nandriya Kaimanui, Prano Kaimanui Chapare, Atma Samyama Yoga Gagan, Atma Samyoga, Atma Samyama Yoga Gagan, Atma Samyama Yoga Ganao, Juhuvati Jinyanati Pite. Tiravya Yajinya Setapo Yajinya, Yoga Yajinya Setatha Pare, Svatya Yajinyana, Svatya Yajinyana Yajinya Shija, Yatayah, Samchita Vratah, Apane, Juhuvati, Pranam, Pranoepanam, Tatha Pare, Prano Panagati, Rudituvan, Prano Yama Parayano, Appare Niyatahara, Pranan Pranueshu, Juvati, Pranan Pranueshu, Juvati, Salve Piate, Yajinya Vido, Yajinyaku Shopita, Yajinyaku Shopita Karemasho, Yajinya Shishito Muruta Pujo, Yajinya Shishito Muruta Pujo, Yananti Brahma Sanatanamu, Nayam Lokosatya Yajinya Siya, Kutoniyaha Guru Satatama, Evam Bahubitan, Yajinya, Bitatan, Brahmano Bukhe, Kalmajanam Vidati, Danan Salvan Evam, Jinyatavan, Vimokushase, Shreyanandaravya Maya Yajinya Jijinyana Yajinyaha, Shreyanandaravya Maya Yajinya Jijinyana Yajinyaha, Paranantapa, Saivam, Kaima Chilam Paita, Jinyane, Parisama Piate, Tadavidati, Branui Pangatena, Pariprashinata, Paripurashinena, Savayan, Upatekushuyananti, Te Jinyani Nasatatatavadashi, Jinyani Nasatatatavadashinaha, Jinyani Nasatatatavadashinaha, Yajinyatavan, Na, Bunai Mohamevam, Yasiasi, Panandava, Yena, Putan Yasheshweno, Putan, Asheshwoni, Putani Asheshwoni, Drakushuyasianta Maniato Mai. So that was the alternative version. Api, Jadasi, Bape Piahe, Salve Piahe, Bapakurutamahe, Saivam, Jinyana Palavenaiva, 보로지남 사는 따르시었시 야타이담시 사미드 토근을 파스마사 뜻구루 뗄주나 지냐나그니흐 살바깔마누이 파스마사 뜻구루 떼 따탕아 나히 지냐네나 사드르샴 바비드라미하 비디아떼 따뜨스바얌 요가삼시드 타흐 까레나 뜨마니 비는다띠 시라드 타바물 시라드 타바물르 라 파떼 시라드 타바물르라 시라드 타바물르라 파떼 지냐남 따뜻바라흐 사미야 때는드리야흐 지냐남 라브트발 바람 샤는 띠마 샤는 띠마 찌레노 샤는 띠마 찌레노 디까지 찼띠 아지냐시짱 시라드 타 아지냐시짱 시라드 다타 나시짱 삼차야 드만 비나시아띠 나얌 로코스띠 나 바로 나 수캄 삼차야 드마나흐 요가 삼니아스 따깔만함 지냐나 산치는 나 삼차야무 지냐나 산치는 나 삼차야무 아 드마바는 땀 나 깔마누이 니바트 나는 띠 타난자야 따스마다 지냐나 삼은 부담 허르뜨스탐 지냐나 시나 드마나흐 치뜨뜨바이남 삼샤얌 요가마 티슈토트 티슈터 파라타 one more 치뜨뜨바이남 삼샤얌 요가마 티슈토트 티슈터 파라타 요가마 티슈토트 티슈터 파라타 오케이 따뜻사디띠 시리마드 바가바드 기타 수바니셔트수 브라흐마 비디양얌 요가샤스트레 시리크를 슈놀 주나 삼바데 시리크를 슈놀 주나 삼바데 sorry 지냐나 깔마 삼니야 사요고 나마 짜툴토티아야흐 Namaste. The Holy One said, this imperishable devotion I declared to Vivasubhat. Vivasubhat declared it to Manu, and Manu communicated it to Ikshvaku. Sorry, my injury is acting up. Descending thus from generation to generation, the royal sages came to know it. But, O chastiser of foes, by a long time that devotion became lost to the world. Even the same devotion had today been declared by me to thee. For thou art my devotee and friend, this is a great mystery. Arjuna said, thy birth is posterior, Vivasubhat's birth is prior. How shall I understand then that thou hast the first declared? The Holy One said, many births of mine have passed away, O Arjuna, as also of thine. These all I know, but thou dost not, O chastiser of fools. Though unborn and of essence that knoweth no deterioration, though the Lord of all creatures, still relying on my own nature, I take birth by my own power of illusion. Whensoever aparata, loss of piety occurreth, and the rise of impiety, on those occasions do I create myself. For the protection of the righteous, for also the destruction of evildoers, for the sake of establishing piety, I am born age after age. He that truly knoweth my divine birth and work to be such, casting off, is not born again. He cometh to me, O Arjuna. Many who have been free from attachment, fear, and wrath, who are full of me, and who relied on me, have, cleansed by knowledge and asceticism, attained to my essence. In whatsoever manner men come to me, in the self-same manner do I accept them. It is my way, O Bhagavata, that men follow on all sides. They in this world that are desirous of the success of actions worship the gods, for in this world of men, the success resulting from action is soon attained. The quadruple division of castes was created by me according to the distinction of qualities and duties. Though I am the author thereof, know me to be not the author and undecaying. Actions do not touch me. I have no longing for the fruits of actions. He that knoweth me thus is not impeded by actions. Knowing this, if a man of old that were desirous of emancipation performed work, therefore do thou also perform work as was done by them of olden times. What is action and what inaction? Even the learned are perplexed at this. Therefore I will tell thee about action, knowing it thou mayest be freed from evil. One should have knowledge of action, and one should have knowledge of forbidden actions. One should also know of inaction. The course of action is incomprehensible. He that sees inaction in action and action in inaction is wise among men. He is possessed of devotion, and he is the doer of all actions. The learned call him wise, whose efforts are all free from desire and will, and whose actions have all been consumed by the fire of knowledge. Whoever, resigning all attachment to the fruit of action, is ever contented and is dependent on none, doeth naught indeed, although engaged in action. He who, without desire, with mind and the senses under control, and casting off all concerns, performeth action only for the preservation of the body, incurreth no sin. He who is contented with what is earned without exertion, who hath risen superior to the pairs of opposites, who is without jealousy, who is equable in success and failure, is not bettered even though he works. All his actions perish, who acts for the sake of sacrifice, who is without affections, who is free, and whose mind is fixed upon knowledge. Brahma is the vessel, Brahma is the libation, Brahma is the fire on which by Brahma is poured, Brahma is the goal to which he proceedeth by fixing his mind on Brahma itself, which is the action. Some devotees perform sacrifice to the gods. Others, by means of sacrifice, offer up sacrifice to the fire of Brahma. Others offer up the senses of which hearing is the first to the fire of restraint. Others offer up the objects of sense of which sound is the first to the fire of the senses. Others offer up all the functions of the senses and the functions of the vital ones to the fire of devotion by self-restraint kindled by knowledge. Others again perform the sacrifice of wealth, the sacrifice of ascetic austerities, the sacrifice of meditation, the sacrifice of study, the sacrifice of knowledge, and others are ascetics of rigid vows. Some offer up the upward vital wind to the downward vital wind, and others the downward vital wind to the upward vital wind. Some, arresting the course of the upward and the downward vital winds, are devoted to the restraint of the vital winds. Others of restricted rations offer the vital winds to the vital winds. Even all these who are conversant with sacrifice, whose sins have been consumed by sacrifice, and who eat the remnants of sacrifice, which are amrita, attain to the eternal Brahma. This world is not for him who doth not perform sacrifice. One's than the other, O best of Guru's race. Thus diverse are the sacrifices occurring in the Vedas. Know that all of them result from action, and knowing this thou wilt be emancipated. The sacrifice of knowledge, O chastiser of foes, is superior to every sacrifice involving fruits of action, for all action of Bhagavata is wholly comprehended in knowledge. Learn that by prostration, enquiry, and service. They that are possessed of knowledge and can see the truth will teach thee that knowledge, knowing which, O son of Bharanruo, thou wilt not again come by such delusion, and by which thou wilt see the endless creatures in thyself and then in me. Even if thou beest the greatest sinner among all that are sinful, thou shalt yet cross over all transgressions by the raft of knowledge. As a blazing fire, O Arjuna, reduceth fuel to ashes, so doth the fire of knowledge reduce all actions to ashes. For there is nothing here that is so cleansing as knowledge. One that hath attained to success by devotion finds it without effort within his own self in time. He obtaineth knowledge who hath faith and is intent on it, and who hath his senses under control. Obtaining knowledge, one findeth the highest tranquillity in no length of time. One who hath no knowledge and no faith, and whose mind is full of doubt, is lost. Neither this world, nor the next, nor happiness is for him whose mind is full of doubt. Actions do not fetter him, O Dhananjaya, who hath cast off action by devotion, whose doubts have been dispelled by knowledge, and who is self-restrained. Therefore, destroying by the sword of knowledge this doubt of thine that is born of ignorance and that dwelleth in thy mind, betake to devotion. Arise, O son of Bharata. Okay. Thank you very much. Namaste. I'm gonna chant pretty soon. I mean, this is fun now. Like, things are changing for me. Things that used to be just... I wasn't motivated. Just 2 months ago, I was not motivated at all. Now I'm having fun. Thank you very much. Namaste. So yeah, chanting in half an hour.